Meghan Markle is facing controversy after her niece claimed she was the surrogate in Meghan's pregnancy.
The rumors that Meghan Markle faked her pregnancies, once dismissed as mere internet noise, have erupted into something unthinkable. The whispers, dismissed before, have now become an uncontrollable roar. And this time, it's personal. The name of Meghan's niece, Ashley Hale, daughter of Samantha Markle, has surfaced as the pivotal figure in a story that many feared would never see the light of day. Ashley, dragged into the storm, is said to hold the key to what Meghan has been hiding for years. Documents, emails, contracts, scattered fragments that have turned a once quiet rumor into a wildfire. But Meghan's camp, they fight back, attacking, denying, yet the more they deny, the louder the whispers grow. What's really going on? Is there truth behind these allegations? And will the truth finally be revealed? Fans, critics, and even family members alike have been left on edge, wondering where this shocking saga will go. When Harry and Meghan dropped their Christmas card in late December, it was nothing more than what the world has come to expect: a perfect family. Archie and Lilibet standing front and center, their smiles almost too controlled. The message: peace, unity, family. But this time, it didn't sit right. It was too perfect, too flawless. And suddenly, social media erupted, not for lack of warmth, but because the picture felt ours. The card was no longer a simple holiday greeting. It was a lightning rod. People started questioning the authenticity of it all. Why? Because if you look closely at the children, they don't just look like Meghan's kids. They bear an uncanny resemblance to Ashley Hale, her niece. The world went wild, tearing apart the Christmas card like it was a crime scene. Eyes were scrutinizing every feature: jawlines, hair color, facial structure. Was it a coincidence? Could it be that something was hidden in plain sight? Thousands of people began to ask, why does Archie and Lilibet look so much like Ashley? And as this bombshell dropped, old footage of Meghan pregnant with Archie resurfaced. And with it came the brutal commentary, questions about her baby bump, her strange movements, and all the things that never quite made sense. It wasn't subtle. It was an avalanche of public confrontation. The public wasn't whispering anymore. They were shouting, and their voices grew louder with every passing day. One comment stood out above the rest: if there's nothing shady here, why has this never been properly explained? And from that came a flood of support, theories, and unanswered questions. Ashley's name became synonymous with controversy. People began to demand answers. Was she the surrogate for Archie and Lilibet? Had the royal couple used Ashley for their own convenience and then left her in the shadows? The speculation spiraled. The whole world was waiting, and Ashley's silence only added fuel to the fire. The tension escalated when close friends of Ashley Hale came forward. These friends claimed that Ashley had confided in them about her true role. She wasn't just a family member, she was allegedly the one who carried Archie and Lilibet for Meghan. The shock didn't come from Ashley's confession, but from the way she spoke. It wasn't with pride, it was with weariness. And the reason? She was convinced that her part in this whole story had been erased from history. She believed that the public had been lied to. But what made Ashley's words so much more chilling was what she said next. Ashley didn't just mention vague rumors. She mentioned concrete proof, clinic records, prenatal appointments, emails, contracts, and most shockingly, an enda that bound her to silence. But here's the twist. Meghan, when faced with these accusations, didn't break a sweat. She shut it down immediately. These claims are completely fabricated, she said. I will not entertain such baseless accusations. Meghan denied everything, calling Ashley a liar and attention seeker. But here's the kicker. Why did Meghan react with such force? Why didn't she just let it go? Suddenly, everything that had been dismissed in the past began to resurface with a vengeance. Ashley's name was mentioned in connection to medical records, a list of mysterious documents that had never been shown. But Meghan, of course, wasn't about to let that happen. She wasn't going to allow her family to be dragged through the mud, and yet, despite all her denials, the public wasn't satisfied. If it was all a lie, why hadn't anyone proven it to be one? Why hadn't Ashley ever been confronted publicly to shut the whole thing down? The more Meghan denied, the more people wanted to know. And when Ashley refused to speak, it became the most tantalizing piece of the puzzle. Then came the bombshell. One of Ashley's close friends revealed that Ashley had said something shocking. I have DR results, but I won't post them online to make this into a spectacle. But Boom. That one line made headlines everywhere. The public couldn't get enough. Duh. Proof of what everyone suspected all along. But Ashley refused to play by their rules. She didn't want her family to become a media circus. Instead, she offered to undergo independent DNA testing, but only if it was handled properly. Not through social media, but under proper legal and medical scrutiny. The world was stunned. Was this her way of saying, I have the proof, but it's not for public consumption? Or was it a clever strategy to keep the pressure on Meghan without ever giving the public what they so desperately wanted? This was no longer just gossip. It was a waiting game. The world was on tenterhooks, watching for the next move. Would Ashley finally speak out, or would Meghan's camp continue to silence her? With every passing day, the questions piled up. And as for Meghan, her silence spoke volumes. The more she ignored the situation, the more it festered. Stay tuned as this explosive story continues to unravel, revealing secrets that could change everything we thought we knew about Meghan Markle, her family, and the truth behind Archie and Lilibet's origins. As Ashley Hale's name reverberated across social media, the narrative began to split into two very distinct camps. On one side, you had those who believed every word being said. They saw Ashley's silence as the greatest proof of her involvement, interpreting her refusal to speak as a strategy to protect the children. On the other side, there were those who saw it as a delay tactic, a deliberate attempt to keep the public on edge while avoiding definitive proof. The tension between these two perspectives escalated. Everyone was waiting, and the waiting felt almost unbearable. But the stakes were high. What if Ashley really had proof? The thought of NAW results sitting in a drawer, untouched and unverified, became too much for the public to ignore. Yet, here's where the story took a dark twist. The public obsession with these NAW results. Was it right to demand this level of confirmation? Some argued it was necessary to silence the rumors once and for all. Others, however, saw it as an invasion of privacy, a circus spectacle built solely for entertainment purposes. And while the world debated, the silence continued. Meghan remained resolutely tight-lipped, her response to the entire situation being nothing more than a swift, cutting denial. These accusations are baseless, she said, and I won't dignify them with a response. It wasn't a conversation, it was a shutdown. No further clarification, no attempt to explain the growing chasm between public speculation and private truth. She simply walked away. But that only served to ignite the fire further. With every unanswered question, the doubt grew. And there were many unanswered questions. Why had Meghan and Harry chosen silence? Why hadn't they offered any concrete evidence to dispel the surrogacy rumors? Could it be that they were hiding something? Soon, the social media landscape became a battleground. On one side, Meghan's defenders insisted that Ashley was merely seeking attention, capitalizing on a scandal to boost her profile. They painted Ashley as a manipulator, someone who was using legal threats and ambiguity to keep the story alive. On the other side, Ashley's supporters rallied, demanding that Meghan provide clear answers. It was a war of words, and with each passing day, the rhetoric became more heated. Then came the bombshell. Rumors began to spread that Ashley Hale had taken legal action. Reports emerged stating that she had instructed her lawyer to send formal notices to clinics, demanding that no records relating to the pregnancy be altered or erased. But it was a chilling development. Was Ashley preparing for the possibility of a public reveal? Or was this all just another maneuver to maintain control over the narrative? Legal steps were being taken, documents were being protected. It felt like a countdown. But with no official statements, it was impossible to say what was truly happening behind closed doors. The only thing that was clear was that Ashley Hale was no longer playing by Meghan's rules, and the public, already on edge, felt like they were finally getting closer to the truth. Meanwhile, Meghan's camp was preparing their defense. Close friends who spoke on her behalf attacked the growing suspicion. They painted Ashley as a woman desperate for attention, someone who was fabricating stories to stay relevant. They dismissed her claims as mere noise, a distraction from the truth. But why then were so many people listening? Why did the details surrounding Ashley's involvement with Archie and Lilibet keep surfacing in the first place? This led to an uncomfortable question. If Meghan's side was so confident in their narrative, why hadn't hadn't they done more to squash the rumors? Why hadn't they released evidence, official documents, or public records to lay these speculations to rest? The more Meghan denied, the more the public clamored for an answer. And still, the silence loomed. As the days passed, the pressure continued to mount. No new statements, no new clarifications, just more speculation. The growing sense of unease was palpable. And yet, there was an eerie sense of anticipation. The public wasn't going to let this go. The story had become too big, too explosive. It was no longer just about Meghan or Ashley. It was about a family, a carefully curated image, and the cracks in that image that the world was now desperate to understand. At the heart of this mystery was Ashley's silence. Every day she remained quiet, the speculation grew stronger. Could this be her final move? Was she waiting for the right moment to strike? Would she finally reveal the truth? Some began to wonder if this was her way of taking control, making Meghan sweat, playing the game by her own rules. Others believed that Ashley was simply waiting for the perfect legal opportunity, a moment when the stakes were high enough to force Meghan into a corner. One thing was for certain, the silence was becoming deafening. As more details came to light, the story only seemed to gain momentum. Ashley's name continued to pop up, and with it, more questions. Were these just rumors, or was there something more sinister at play? Was Meghan truly hiding something, or was this all an orchestrated effort to tear her down? The situation reached its climax when another insider, someone close to Meghan's camp, whispered to the press, "If there's something to hide, it will come out soon," they said. That statement sent shockwaves through the media, causing an immediate flurry of speculation. What did they know? Was there truth to the surrogacy claims, or was it all just another smear campaign? The speculation grew louder, the pressure increased, and the clock was ticking. Every passing day felt like a step closer to a revelation, or an explosion. The question now wasn't if the truth would come out, but when. Would Ashley speak? Would she reveal the truth about Archie and Lilibet's birth? Or would the silence continue until it became too much to bear? As the controversy escalated, one thing became crystal clear. This story was far from over. Far from over. Far from over. Far